of the runes. Let's have a look at these lanes, because Wings already, we can see that they will be sending the Razor up to the top lane. So wanting to put him head-to-head with the safe lane of EG. It's going to be dual lanes at the moment coming out from them. So Scarif and Anti-Mage in this top lane. Looks like Razor will be backed up by Rubik, so the two of them going to go head-to-head. Is this a decisive choice from Wings to tackle the Anti-Mage head-on in this laning stage?
It's a very hard lane, I think, for EG to deal with. The Skywrath is going to eventually run out of mana, I feel. And his harass is pretty good during the early stages, but there's no way with 0 armor he can just sit there and trade. So you can see right now, he's taking a tremendous amount just from right clicks. So I think Innocence and Shadow up here on the side of Wings are going to have a pretty darn good time, and there's not much that Fear and PPD are going to be able to do contest.
Okay, all things considered, you got the top lane now. Obviously, iceice straight into the jungle on Enigma, leaving this mid lane matchup, Timbersaw versus Sand King, two heroes that are good against melee, but who's coming out with the edge here? Or do you think we'll just see even amounts of farm for both sides?
I've seen this matchup go both ways so far, and personally, I think the Sand King should have a slight advantage if he plays well. But sometimes if you eat a couple of Whirling Deaths in the laning phase, it can be a little bit troublesome for the Sand King. I think one of the major differences is before, Sand Kings weren't getting caustic, but now they are, so there's no like hopping in a sandstorm and accidentally eating a couple of Timber Chains and stuff like that. Not to mention for Blink, you can't really use Timber Chain to harass in this lane because you're mid. Maybe if he was like top or bottom, that would be possible in this matchup, but here, it's just not going to happen. So probably Sumail will end up pulling ahead.
You can see as well Zai on his eye. I did come over to spot out the whereabouts and the going-ons of iceice. I mean, obviously Zai, it's unlikely he's going to be able to do anything in terms of bringing down the Enigma, but it's the plan really to just hang around, sap some of the XP, and maybe even try and steal a few CS from the jungle creeps.
There's not much else he can do. I feel like even if he were to go top, it wouldn't necessarily result in them being able to get a kill just because they have an anti-mage as a safe lane farmer instead of something else with like a disable or a spin like a Juggernaut, for example. So I think it's an alright game plan. And plus he can also control the bottom rune very, very reliably in this position, and he's going to be relying on those bounties to get some golden XP during the early game.
We can certainly see in the mid lane at the moment, Sumail has got the edge, 14 for 1 against 8 for 0. So the Caustic Finale certainly working wonders for the Sand King at the moment against this Timbersaw. And then this bottom lane, of course, Universe against Faith Beyond. Universe being able to find the farm, 10 for 0. Actually slightly ahead of Faith Beyond as well. So we are going to see at least a Weaver get the farm in the laning stage, and also looks like up top there, he's still able to get the CS, even though the pressure's being put on by Wings.
It's not too bad at the moment, and as long as he builds properly, like he's going for the poor man's, you can already see he's picked up the Ring of Regeneration. He understands he's going to be taking a heck of a lot of harass here. We could end up just seeing, oh wow, Blink is very low here.
It certainly seems that this matchup definitely is favoring Sumail on the Sand King. We'll see if it begins to change up once Blink gets a few more levels. But at the moment, of course, just a lot of harassment from Sumail and very much winning the game in this earlier stage in this mid lane. And well, back into the jungle. Sumail's actually going to come across for a rotation. They're looking for iceice, and this could certainly look like a first blood potential with a Burrow Strike. Zai coming around from the sidelines. iceice trying to run himself away, but Sumail moves in, claims the first blood. And a very smart rotation there from the mid Sand King.
It was very good communication from EG. Not only do they have Zai following him around, they also have the ward deep inside of the jungle. They recognize the fact that iceice is out of mana. There's not really anything he can do, and just Zai's presence so far has been crippling the jungle speed of this Enigma. If you are only getting like, if you're level 3 or 4 minutes as Enigma, you are having a very, very slow early game.
Back towards, well, I mean, still Zai coming just to top Universe up a little bit. Keep him in this strong position down on the bottom. Towards the top lane. Looks like we may see things kick off a little bit. TP's coming through. As Zai's going to come and join the fray up on the top lane. They're going to force Wings back. I mean, taking a lot of harassment here. Both Y and Shadow incredibly low. We'll see how deep Fear wants to go. Looks like he's going to play it safe. Backs up. But EG are certainly starting to get good control of this top lane. 16 CS on Fear, still 17 for 10 on the Razor, but it's very close.
The biggest problem that Wings are running into, again, is just the Enigma. So the rotation from Zai is going to give him a little bit of breathing room to catch back up. Should be able to get level 5 or 6, I think, before Zai is even able to make it back towards that side of the map. And the Enigma is incredibly important, especially as someone that's supposed to be your mech carrier. Like, if Tide's just going to go Arcanes and maybe for a Hood instead and leave the mech for the Enigma, then it's absolutely critical that iceice does well.
It's going to be very interesting to see as well how Wings are able to deal with obviously the fact that there's a Weaver and an Anti-Mage. You know, two very elusive heroes. But if they get the farm under their belt, they're going to be very, very scary as the game goes on. And at the moment, Universe, he's getting a lot of farm down on this bottom lane. There's not a lot that the Tide can do to stop him from getting the CS. Obviously, Fake Beyond himself is getting a fair bit of farm, but we can see Universe playing it very nicely indeed down on this bottom lane. Mid lane, Sumail and Zai go for another bit of a go on to Blink. Again, the Caustic Finale just doing so much to the team, but not quite enough to kill him. I mean, Sumail, he's got a burst strike in a couple of seconds. He was thinking about it, but in fact, he may be punished for this one. Y and iceice with the response, but Zai's there, healing Sumail up, allowing him to burst strike to safety. And Wings unable to punish the aggression of Sumail.
You can tell how aggressive of a player Sumail is, because I was backing off, and Sumail's like, no, I'm going in for this kill for sure. Fortunately, they didn't lose anything for the over-aggressive play there.
PPD, he also headed over there just in case anything else went down. Zai goes onto iceice, fending him away. But as you said, this is certainly not necessarily the start that Enigma would have wanted. He still managed to find good farm.
I mean, he's second highest in the game in terms of CS, so it's more about the experience more than anything, and Zai was able to soak like a level or a level and a half or so from the jungle before they eventually killed him.
BKB for Sumail as well. It's all coming together for EG. See what they're able to do about this Shadow. Slowly bringing down the mid-rack. Sumail gets the jump in, the Ravage on the backline, but it doesn't hit off all! Universe got the BKB off in time, they've lost PPD, but Fear jumps forward.
Black ball!
On to 3! Oh, no! But Sumail with the epicenter return fire! There's a buyback from Zai, iceice backing off. EG, they've lost Fear as well, he does not have buyback available because of the BKB investment. And Wings, they're not going to stick around. We'll see if he can do anything, but still without the initiation potential from Sumail Sanking, it's going to be a hard defense. Tier 3 falling fast. Fortification comes out from EG. See what they can do about this. Looking to try and force back Blink, but as you said, they're so damn tanky. Wings not phased at all. Universe looking for Shadow. And consider Pop, Fear jumping in, looking towards the Tidehunter. They're backing off. Now telekinesis onto Fear. There's the follow-up. Doesn't look like it, but Blink.
Oh, Zai!
Dropped down by the Shakram. IO's out for 60. On Wings. You find half of the bottom racks. EG seeming to struggle with the pressure that Wings are putting on. Wings, they got the tools together. PPD's down. There, BKB Pop looking to fight in, but BKB's coming back up for Wings. Sumail with the epicenter onto Y. Can't kill the Rubik though, has to get himself out now. Pops the BKB runs, but Wings, they'll take it down.
Oh, Universe goes down.
To go as well.
GG!
And Wings, absolutely impeccable play. EG, they were getting the farm on their cores, but Wings, they just needed that one push, that one fight, that one excellent bit of teamwork to shut the game down, and they did it. Wings they knew exactly how to work with their job.
The itemization on their squad too, you have to give nothing but props to them. A lot of them buy hoods, they get the mech super early, they say, look, if we get one shot at your base, it's over. You don't have the damage, you don't have the item progression, all we need to do is just get the 5-man death ball going one time,